Hi everyone, in today's video I'm going to talk about stress and Alzheimer. I got a lot of questions about can stress cause Alzheimer's disease? Research indicates that stress may play a role in development or progression of Alzheimer's but doesn't necessarily cause Alzheimer's. Let's look at what is stress. Stress happens when our body has to respond to a situation that could be dangerous, right? Symptoms include pounding heart, sweating, and tense muscles. These symptoms usually fade away once the danger passes, but some people may find that these stressed feelings continue. This prolonged or chronic stress can be very serious and have severe effects on a person emotionally, mentally, and physically. So now let's look at what is the connection between stress and Alzheimer's disease. Lots of studies show that various forms of stress, including chronic stress and anxiety, are associated with a higher likelihood of developing Alzheimer's in later life. However, it's also been shown that managing stress may mitigate these effects. There are many reasons why stress could be linked to Alzheimer's. A key hormone released when you are stressed, cortisol, has been linked to problems with memory and other problems. Stress is also closely linked to conditions such as depression and anxiety. These have also been suggested as factors that could increase the risk of dementia. Alzheimer is a type of dementia. Increased levels of cortisol in the body can affect brain regions such as the hippocampus, which is critical for our memory. Stress also affects the immune system, which is known to play an important role in the development of dementia. Stress can lead to the release of chemical signals that trigger inflammation in the body and brain. Chronic inflammation in the brain can damage cells and affect how well brain cells communicate. It's really important. Some research in animal models has found that stress appears to have a direct impact on some of the mechanisms underlying dementia. This includes the loss of connections between brain cells and accumulation of damaging proteins in the brain. However, as with many things in the research world, understanding whether any of these theories are correct has turned out to be a long and winding road. A complicated situation is that it is very hard for researchers to investigate stress, first of all, because we all experience stress in different ways, and our ability to cope with stress varies widely from person to person. That's why it's also very difficult to measure exactly how stressed someone is. There are a lot of other factors that could be playing a role, which are difficult to separate. Anxiety, depression, PTSD, and lack of sleep, they all are associated with stress, but also with dementia risk. These complications mean that it is very difficult to do high-quality research into the role that stress has in dementia risk. However, a few studies have attempted to untangle this mystery. What does science say about stress and dementia? Now let's look at it. A review of the scientific literature on stress and dementia risk concluded that stress could play a role in dementia development, but it's unlikely to be the only factor that causes the condition. There is still much to be understood about what mechanisms could underlie any links between stress and dementia risk.